If you want to find immediate relief from anxiety, connect to your body. A lot of times when we find ourselves experiencing anxiety, what's going on is we're kind of in a rumination spiral of a lot of thinking, maybe a lot of stories, a lot of questions, what ifs coming up. And what we might attempt to do is kind of think ourselves out of our anxious spiral by talking to ourselves or trying to convince ourselves that everything's going to be okay. And there can be a place and time for this. However, when we are really in the peak of the anxiety, or we're having the experience or the feeling that it's really hard to bring ourselves back to a place where we're not feeling anxious, the place to begin with is the body. First and foremost, we want to make sure that we are breathing deeply and fully. So you always want to check in with your breath. And especially when we're feeling anxious, we might have a tendency to kind of hold our breath or kind of stop it and let it only get down to our chest and not down to our belly. So the first thing you can do is always just imagine your belly like a balloon and inhale and see how full you can get your belly. And then let your exhales be long as well. So starting with the breath is always useful. Once you've checked in with your breath, here are 3 more body connection and engaging techniques that you can try. You can change your literal position. So let's say you're sitting down on your couch in a rumination spiral, stand up and go to another room. Just the shift in the body helps us kind of interrupt the rumination spiral. You can also take a sip of water and swallow. So this really lets our body know that, you know what, I'm safe enough to swallow in this moment, and again, interrupts the rumination spiral. So we can start to kind of interrupt the intensity of the anxiety in the moment. And one last little technique you can try is humming or singing. This really helps you ground into your body, reconnect with the present moment, and just kind of bring some nice vibrations throughout the body that will help you bring down the intensity of the anxiety in the moment. Once you've really connected to your body during the peak of anxiety or at the beginning of your anxiety spiral, you can then kind of orient to your environment to help you then reconnect with useful and supportive thinking patterns that you can then kind of walk yourself through and out of your anxiety spiral. I'd love to hear if you have any favorite go-to techniques that you use when you are experiencing intense anxiety.